Big up, guys. Welcome to my debate show. Obviously, back in its Monday slot again. After last week, I had it on a Tuesday, but obviously now I brought it back to its usual place on Monday, and obviously got a little bit to discuss on the weekend in the football. Obviously, I'm happier now because we got a win on Saturday. The Bees actually got its steam back, and we beat the Wolves. We silenced the Wolves on Saturday, which was great. You know, really happy now. We needed that. We needed those 3 points. And then obviously going into Saturday's game with Liverpool, even though it's at home, will be tough. But, you know, we got a bit of confidence. We got a bit of a cushion now. So that helps us a bit. So I'm really happy about all that. I never underestimated Wolves at all. Very good team. I knew it was going to be fairly tough, but I thought we played superbly. Brilliant performance, you know. Maybe they weren't quite at their best, but that can't be taken away from our performance. It was brilliant. And, you know, Tony was immense. I thought his best performance since he's come back, Ivan Tony. And, you know, the goalie was great again. I actually thought Flecken had a really good game again. So he deserved the clean sheet at the end of the day, especially what he done against City, you know, with them great saves there as well. So long may it continue. And if he can keep this up, you know, all the better. All the better for us. So obviously, once again, I've got another guest on today, and again, it's Manny Fangaderai. He's here with me again to discuss the talking points on the weekend. I mean, obviously, one of them is that sin bin, and I know that wasn't really from the weekend. That's sort of been rumbling on, well, maybe last week with the blue cards stuff, obviously. With that going to be happening, I believe this Friday it's going to start or something. The trialing of that. So obviously but I thought we might as well discuss it as it's sort of continuing with all this. And of course, obviously the handball rule, as we see with 2 penalties given for, well, seemed a bit farcical to be honest with the handball rule. I mean, you know, what is actually handball now? It all seems a bit, you know, for some reason you're going to get given a handball for somebody who's just hit their hand and they're not even looking at it, and the hands are out, the arms are out or whatever, and it's hitting the hand and they're getting, you know, given a penalty. It just seems so stupid and a bizarre rule. And we're also going to talk about that a lot more. And obviously, I thought I may have another guest. Luca was supposed to be coming on today, but I don't think he is now. Although he hasn't actually told me he's not coming on. And I did make this slightly earlier for him to come on, but never mind. If he can't make it, he can't make it. Obviously, another time. But cheers anyway for talking about coming on, mate. But obviously you can't, but never mind. I have got a guest, so I will bring him on, and he's obviously happier as well because of Arsenal getting a massive win yesterday. Great win against West Ham. I don't think West Ham were at their best. I don't think they really turned up, but still a great performance by Arsenal. Can't take that away, and 6 goals in any game can't be sniffed at, can it? So. It's brilliant. I'll chat with him about that, maybe a little bit about that as well. But I'll bring him in here, and thanks for being patient, Manny. I'll bring you on now. We got my friend. How are you?
Yeah. First of all, let me just make a slight change. I mean, the worst part is I've got this thing over here which says co-host. I am by no means a co-host. I'm just, a well-wisher and someone who's happy to be invited. And yeah, so first of all, well done to the Bees. I'm quite happy, and I'm happy to see you being happy for Flecken for once. I know you've been one of his biggest critics. You're not a big fan of the Dutchman, but
yeah, it's true.
What can you say about this Dutchman? He's flying now, isn't he?
Yeah, you can say that, but I'm still not getting gassed because I know there's still a way to go, and we've got to see how he does against Liverpool. It's a different matter against Liverpool on Saturday, so But so far so good from him, and I want him to keep it up. Show why he's a Dutch international, because he has played for the, been played a few games for the Dutch. So just wanting to prove that, why he has, got all these caps. So, but brilliant anyway, and I'm glad for you. Congrats to Arsenal, mate. Great win yesterday.
Yep.
As I say, I don't think West Ham turned up, but to be honest, but
I
still
agree.
a great win.
I agree. You said it in the group chat and that they didn't really turn up. And I'll tell you one thing. They certainly didn't play the way we know West Ham are capable of playing under David Moyes. And I think, our strategy to sort of, come at them immediately, just get on the press immediately and just, upset them. It sort of hurt them. And what really was amazing was when they conceded, the goals just kept coming in. I actually missed the first 25 minutes or so because I'd come back home late from the gym. And I was sort of under the impression that, when I started watching, it was 0-0. So, I was saying credit to West Ham for, containing us. But then we got the first goal. And then from there, it was just, one-way traffic. And, West Ham had no answer. Here's the funny thing, though. We're capable of playing like this against, teams, other teams in the Premiership. And certainly, the win against Liverpool, I think we showed that was no fluke. But then suddenly, you can just count on it, Steve. One of these days we will get complacent and think, we don't have anything to prove. It's all ours for the taking. And, one team will just catch us off guard at our worst. Last season, it was Southampton. This season, it could be someone else. And you just know that with the naivety of someone like Arteta as a manager and the, relative naivety of some of our players, it will pretty much happen again. Now, I know, obviously, that we're going to discuss that. And obviously, Stepsy will have a lot to say about that. Many of us predicted that Luton would turn Sheffield United aside very easily. So that was a bit of a surprise. I still don't think Sheffield United will survive. I think Luton still might have enough about them to stay up, and they've certainly been playing a lot better of late. But back to the Arsenal game, I can't get too gassed about that. And I love how you said you're not going to get too gassed about Mark Flecken's recent upturn in form, because there's a saying, you're only as good as your next game. No matter how well you play one game and earn the plaudits, and I will accept that, those plaudits are well-deserved, you've got to keep proving yourself every single time. And even if you do have a bad game, you're not as bad as that bad game, but it's another reminder that you've got to, just keep working and keep at it and just make sure you don't lose your focus. And some of the best players in the game always make sure that they never lose their focus, and that's pretty much how it goes with them. And when they can do that, they can sort of overcome everything, really. And this weekend, obviously, I know there's a game tonight between Chelsea and Crystal Palace. That should be an easy win for Chelsea. And I'm also really, really looking forward to seeing you Bees coming over to the Emirates. I think you might be looking for revenge, because last season you were also one of the teams that pretty much upended us. And because you got a draw in that game, and a lot of talk was about how we were robbed by the lack of use of technology. But on another day, you also could have won that game, and it's another reminder that, at the end of the day, you've got to make sure that you play well enough to not have to depend on certain things going your way. If you can't, then you have no reason for complaint. So if you're going to do a preview for that, obviously you might want to get someone like Luca on. If you want me to come on, I'd be happy to talk about it.
I think it would be great, but obviously Luca was going to come on, but I don't know. He didn't say anything about you not coming on, so he hasn't told me.
Mate,
So,
I think the guy might be, busy doing quite a lot of other things, and
possibly, but
sometimes people like him have a tendency to not really respond. Even I should apologise for not responding as early as
no, it's fine,
possible.
mate.
But
No,
I
you
always
did.
had the intention of coming on to chat with you anyway. So I hope you can give me the benefit of the doubt for that one.
Oh, of course I do, mate. You did communicate with me, so I'm fine with that. You did let me know, so that's great,
Brilliant,
And
brilliant.
it's great that you're on here again. So I need you need to have people on here to have a debate, don't you? That's the thing, and that's it's not really a debate show without it, is it? So
Yeah. And by the way, I know this is not football related, but I'm also looking forward to you discussing the upcoming test. It's going to be this Thursday, the day after Valentine's Day. I only hope that England will rediscover the love that they had for proper cricket and not continue
not the
to
baseball, yeah,
yeah.
not
But
just baseball, yeah.
but we can get to the first topic. I think you're talking about the handball rule, right?
Oh yeah,
Maybe you can
yeah.
just
I'll
fill me
just
in.
get onto that, yeah. Yeah, and then I'm going to bring a screen up about it all and obviously discuss it more. I'll just go into that. Which one? Because I've got a few of these up. Let's try. I'll put this one up because obviously this was Rob Edwards, I believe. He wasn't obviously happy. Edwards' bemusement with the handball laws continue. I can't recall a recent weekend passed by where I haven't heard something along the lines of I'm just not sure what is handball these days. Exactly. Whether it be from fans, commentators like myself, or the array of former players working as media pundits. This is from Tom Gowell, by the way, final score reporter. So now stick with me. The obvious starting point for this conversation is what the laws actually say. What do the laws actually say? The International Football Association Board, IFAB, the self-proclaimed independent guardians of the rules of association football, state a handball offence is committed when a player deliberately touches the ball with a hand or arm, or touches the ball with a hand or arm when it has made their body unnaturally bigger. When I asked Rob Edwards for his thoughts on the two spot kicks awarded in Sheffield United's 3-1 victory, he replied, I don't think either were penalties, but I don't know what is a handball anymore. Now, that's some statement to come out of the mouth of a Premier League manager working in what is regularly reported as the most watched sports league in the world. For me, education isn't the issue here. I have no doubt Luton's manager knows exactly what the law is. His bemusement is more down to how those written rules transfer to the real-time practical application made by both the on-field referee and the video assistant referee at Stockley Park. Edwards later expanded on his frustration when speaking to the written press, stating neither player is looking at the ball. Exactly. Both players have got to jump and have their hands up. Yep. He also refused to blame referee Chris Kavanagh. They, VAR, check everything, so it's not the referee's fault. They get told to go and look at them and once they go and look at them, you got a chance of getting them, so it's not his fault. Howard Webb, the chief refereeing officer at Professional Game Match Officials Limited, PGMOL, is a busy man. He's made a conscious effort to regularly provide detailed public explanations of crucial decisions. If I could add to his workload, I would recommend a trip to Kenilworth Road, given Edwards told me he has not received any contact from either Webb or the PGMOL to help further his understanding of just what handball is in the modern game. So that's that one, Manny. What do you make of it?
Yeah, well, what I'm doing now, Steve, is I'm trying to sort of watch the highlights of the Sheffield Luton game because I don't think I was able to watch those highlights. I mean, I'm just taking
Right.
the first goal scored by Archer there, given a lot of space to shoot on the left. Kaminsky saying, "Your left, my right side's open, mate. Go for it." And that's exactly what Archer did. Archer shot straight and hit the bullseye. But I'm trying to look for the I'm trying to look for the first penalty kick, which, if memory serves me right, was awarded in favour of Sheffield United. And yeah, so this is the incident right now. I'm just looking at it, and obviously I'm not going to share the screen.
No, sure, it's fine.
Well, you know, the thing is that the Luton Town defender who actually conceded the penalty had, in fact, jumped up. And obviously, he had to use his hand to try to elevate himself, right? So the big issue was that he wasn't able to put his hand down immediately afterwards. Now, the sad part is that when you have a law like this, defenders are always going to be, on their guard to make sure that they keep their hands close to their chest, just like, your card should be kept close to your chest, as it were. But obviously, when you try to elevate yourself using your hands as if you're sort of trying to, like an eagle's wings, if you want to soar straight up, you sometimes got to elevate your hands and move up a little bit. And that's pretty much what happened with the poor Luton defender who conceded that penalty. And yeah, it's number 16. I think, I think Stepsy might know who the player was. I can check that later on. But
I don't think he's on here today, by the way.
Yeah, but
I don't think he's on here.
So the problem with the defender sort of using his hands and keeping them out is that he wasn't able to put them down in time, and so it hit his hand at a far distance from the body. So I don't know if there can really be any cause for complaint. That is the risk that defenders take when they jump up and try to elevate themselves to try to get the ball. And I think, if memory serves me right, there was a similar decision given last season against Tottenham in favour of Newcastle when it might have been Eric Dyer, I think, who was guilty of committing a similar handball. So so I'm now trying to sort of take a look at the Luton Town penalty that was awarded. Obviously Chris Wilder's not going to have any complaints about that penalty because he was on the winning team. And
they don't complain about it so much when they win in, do they? These managers.
Yeah, and even for the second one, I'm just trying to take a look at it. Now, obviously, Sheffield United FC have extended highlights, but I'm not able to see what really happened with the second penalty. And I see that there's the infringement there, and the referee is now in a few seconds. Oh, for heaven's sake! Yeah, it's just not really seen carefully, but the way I look at it, Steve, the letter of the law was applied. If the ball hits your hand and it's at a far distance from your body, then that is going to be a penalty, whether you like it or not. No ifs, no buts, no walnuts. And so,
seems wrong to me.
It's a shame, really, that it's come down to that. But I'm sure that a lot of people will feel as though they were hard done by. But it just goes to show that when you are a defender, that is a risk you have to take. And I think the best way to solve this problem is to try to, encourage your central defenders in training to try and jump to head the ball, attack the ball without having to use your hands that much. I know it may be difficult, but at least if you have to sort of use your hands to elevate yourself, make sure you have the good sense to put them back closer to your body. Because if the ball hits your hand and it's a lot closer to your body, your body's not being enlarged, then you can't be cited for a handball inside the box or a deliberate handball in that respect. And it's very easy to say that the Luton Town defender in the first case didn't have any intention of, handling the ball. But then, according to the letter of the law, if it is in an unnatural position, then a penalty has to be awarded. And that is another issue, really, because if you want to make things you can't choose to make everything black and white and then, for some decisions, use mitigating circumstances. You either have to make things black and white or use mitigating circumstances. You can't do both. And that's really where the anger at the inconsistency lies more than anything else. So as far as I can tell, I think the law was applied, but I do respect the opinions of the managers in question who feel that they were hard done by with the awarding of the penalty. But I think if it's fair, just taking a look at the Archer and Vinny Souza goals, Luton can have no real complaints about the result in question because, you know, I mean, those 2 goals were worthy of winning any game with or without penalties. And of course,
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
have a penalty either side, it sort of evens itself out in a way. It shouldn't have to even itself out, but that is what it is. So, you know, obviously, you and I both know, Steve, that because the Premier League bosses love the controversy, they're not
mm,
going to do very much to, you know, correct the issue of these VAR inconsistencies that are
yeah,
affecting
yeah,
the game as such and really turning fans off slowly but surely. And yet we've seen in the Asian Cup, which and the AFCON, which was were recently conducted. Well done to both host teams.
yeah,
Count on the Ivory Coast for winning, by
yeah.
the way.
Congrats to Ivory
Um,
Coast. Yeah,
yeah, and a wonderful medal for Nicola Pepe, who was,
yeah.
you know,
He wasn't going to
ostracized
win
by.
anything at Arsenal, was he?
No, he won the FA Cup with us, mate. He
Oh,
was a key
sorry. Yeah,
part.
he did. Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course he did, didn't
Exactly,
he?
and that is
He did
often
win that.
forgotten
Yeah.
because everybody loves
Mm,
Bukayo Saka now, but he hasn't really won many trophies with us. And Pepe actually was one of the people who, you know, was a big contributor in our FA Cup win and should have had a beautiful goal in the final, which was sadly
yeah.
chalked off for offside. Some people might say that was a controversial decision, but you know, Pepe played his part in winning that. He's been
Yeah.
ostracized really for the high price tag, but was never really given a fair chance by
Yeah,
many of the fans
Arteta,
because
yeah.
because
Discarded him
let's
once again.
yeah,
Discarded him yet
basically
again.
yeah, basically got rid of him like last night's Thai curry. And the
Yeah,
reason why I say Thai curry is because there's so much coconut milk in that it doesn't keep very well. So you have to make sure you consume that ASAP. But
yeah,
yeah, but what I was
yeah,
so without digressing, those 2 tournaments saw excellent use of VAR, and
yeah.
there wasn't really too much disrespect from many teams for the referees' decisions. There were no controversies or anything of that sort. So if
You're
those
breaking
2
up a bit there,
tournaments,
Manny. You're breaking up, mate.
can you hear me now?
You're breaking up a bit there. Yeah, yeah, it's fine now. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, listen. So those
It's
2
fine now,
tournaments
mate.
took place without any real controversy, and the decisions were all universally respected. And ironically, that didn't stop the Daily Fail from talking about, you know, some poor
Daily fail.
refereeing in the
Yeah.
AFCON, while nobody really seems to comparatively bat an eyelid about the shenanigans that take place in the Premier League. I call it the Daily Fail for a reason, you see. And yeah, so
Yeah,
listen, all I can say is that if you got to try to sort things out, but at the end of the day as well, I think the only way to sort of mitigate this is that defenders are going to have to be a little bit careful. You know, if defenders will have to know that if you are sort of you know, jumping up with your arms raised and aren't able to put your arms back closer to your body in time, then, you know, you're asking for trouble. It's what we would call an
yeah,
occupational hazard, really. And just as a goalkeeper knows that he has to time his run to thwart an attacker to the millisecond, because if he's slightly off,
oh,
then, you know, he concedes a
went a
penalty,
bit
just
there.
like Alphonse Areola did against
Yeah,
Bukayo Saka yesterday. Can you hear me now?
yeah. You went a bit there again. You froze a bit,
Yeah,
and the sound went a bit.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
it's the internet connection. But what I'm saying is, defenders
no
are now
worries,
going to
mate.
have to know that there will be risks when you use your hands to, you know, jump up, and it's an occupational hazard. Just as goalkeepers know that when they make a decision to rush in at an attacker, they've got to make sure they time it perfectly and get the ball. If they fail to get the ball and instead get the attacker, like Alphonse Areola did against Bukayo Saka, then, you know, you can see the penalty. And
Yeah.
Areola was booked. We scored the penalty, and the rest is history.
Mm. Yeah, I just wonder if it's gone too extreme with this, mate. Because I mean, you know, another thing I don't like is that offside rule. I can't stand the offside rule. I know that it's to do with VAR now, but they let the play go, and you see he's well offside. Just blow. Just put the flag up. You know,
I
he's
agree.
well offside, and these players go on and they can get injured this way. I never liked that rule. I hate it. I thought, why is that? I know it's to do with VAR because they think, well, you never know, it might continue and it might have actually been onside instead of offside. So you've got to let the play go just in case. But then at the end of the day, somebody's getting injured because of it. I mean, look at what I think it was Man City with Edison. It was all through that. He got injured when they played on and not put the flag up straight away. It was a clash with another player. another player went in on him and he got injured through that. So I just think I don't get it, Manny. It's just so bizarre because, right, especially with this handball thing, how do you can't jump up like putting your arms down like that by your side. You're not tied. Your arms aren't tied to your side or tied behind you. You've got to jump with your arms up. It's a natural thing.
I'm not saying I'm not saying you can't try to jump up without using your hands, Steve. I'm saying nothing of the sort. I've said that
I know you're
at
not,
least
but
twice.
I'm just trying to say that there's no other way you can do it. How can you do that without putting your arms up when you jump? It's just like so stupid.
No, but there are. I get what you're saying, but listen, Steve, there are some ways to go about it. Like, I've said clearly that, you can't do that, but then that is a risk you take. Like, for example, there are some cases where, if you are able to sort of, let's say, for example, and I want to show you this right now. I'm going to try to, show this while I'm still speaking, if I possibly can. Now, obviously, I'm getting up right now, and you see my hands like this. Now, let's say, for example, I'm a central defender. Now, obviously, I'm too short to be a central defender. I'm 5'8", so I can't jump for toffee. I don't know how the likes of Lisandro Martinez are able to do it at Manchester United. Maybe they have some springy legs. I don't know. But let's say, for example, I see a ball coming in. Now, it's almost similar to when a goalkeeper tries to jump for the ball. And believe it or not, I was a goalkeeper in my youth. So, basically, when you jump, it's not so much your hands that give you the thrust, but your legs that give you the thrust. So, you bend down a little bit like this, and then you sort of try to jump up, and then you can catch it if you're a goalkeeper. Or if you want to try to sort of, jump up to head the ball as a central defender. Let's say, for example, you keep your arms close to your chest like this. So I'm trying to look for the ball, right? I'm sort of running towards that path. Then I sort of bring my arms down like this to sort of give that little bit of thrust like this, and I can sort of jump up and try and head it. So the key here is that when you keep your arms close to your body like that, you can still get the momentum. And that way, your arms are not really at your side, and it's not in a position where it makes your body bigger. It's not in an unnatural position. Now, obviously, the letter of the law states that if the ball hits your arm and it's close to your body, and you're not really trying to deliberately touch it as such, then, you get away with it scot-free. And certainly in the Anfield game between Liverpool and Arsenal, Liverpool were denied a clear penalty when Odegaard clearly controlled it with his hand. I think they wanted to sort of give him the benefit of doubt, saying that, he slipped and didn't have control. But, even if he slipped, there was no excuse for him trying to, control that ball with his hand. That was a dreadful decision, and it cost Liverpool 3 points. And then what angers me about it is that after beating Liverpool 3-1, you see the disrespect from Arsenal fans towards Jurgen Klopp, saying that he's an overrated manager, not really different from Claudio Ranieri. Morons. This guy won the Bundesliga with Borussia Dortmund, breaking the hegemony of Bayern Munich before coming to Liverpool. We should have gotten Jurgen Klopp when Arsene Wenger was clearly, past his prime and had seen better days. And look at what he's won. And how dare these idiots, how dare these idiots try to discredit Jurgen Klopp and praise Arteta to the sky, saying that he has a higher ceiling and he can only improve. I'm sorry, but until he actually wins something more substantial, we're never going to see any signs of improvement. We're going to see, all our hopes being raised, and then they crash down again, because we know the score, Steve. It's happened that way. It is. And Stepsy, it's good to see you in the chat. I do respect your opinion, but sadly, as far as the Luton one is concerned, I think the penalty was the right decision according to the letter of the law. You can talk about mitigating circumstances all you like, and that is where the controversy comes in. I couldn't really see the Sheffield United Luton penalty that was awarded in your favour, because for some reason the highlights package didn't give a proper view of that. But we have to accept that according to the letter of the law, it hit the defender's hand when his hand was in an unnatural position. So according to the letter of the law, the penalty had to be given. And so
I disagree, man. I disagree. I'm sorry. I do disagree with that.
I respect that.
Because, both were not looking at the ball for a start, and they're both jumping, and one of them was push. into it, were going like that, not looking at the ball even. They were being pushed into it, that position, and then the ball hits their... What the hell are they going to do? How can they get their arms out of the way? You can't just put your arms down and get out of the way just like that. There's just no way. It's stupid.
If there was a push, Steve, then definitely, it was Reece Burke who conceded the penalty for Luton Town. I've just found the squad number. So,
yeah,
if there was a push, then definitely, that should have been disallowed, because you can't just push someone like that. So, if there was that push and I didn't quite catch it, then I will be willing to stand corrected. And I think Stepsy's talking about not even facing the goal.
Yeah, this is what I just said. What I've been saying, I mean, they're never penalties, Manny. They're never penalties at the end of the day. I mean, how can you there's just no possible way you can get out of the way with your arms down. It's like you've got to tie your arms up or something behind your back or something, and then and there's no way. It's like you'll be a flaming fish in the air, going like that in the air or something, It's just stupid. And
no, I've shown you, Steve, that there is a way. I believe there is a way, and then that is something. I think it's unfortunate in a way, but then that is the letter of the law, and so defenders are just going to have to learn or be coached on the art of being able to jump for the ball, but also keep their arms close to their chest. I've told you, it's an occupational.
Sorry, no,
it's an occupational hazard. I respect that. I respect your opinion. We can agree to disagree, and hopefully,
actually, Manny, there's no way you can teach somebody to do that without putting their arms up.
Mate, I've just shown you that it is possible. I played football at a youth level. I only stopped playing because I stopped growing.
Yeah, but it's not professional football, is it? And these now, it's got too much, because nobody was talking about this a few 2 or 3, 4 years ago or more. Nobody was discussing all this, was they? That you can't jump with your arms up and things like that. And I mean, it's like with the, when players go over, when it looks like you got to jump and head the ball, and they're saying, oh, you've been elbowed. But you got to put your arms up to head the ball. You're not trying to elbow anyone.
And I'm saying that if there was a foul in the penalty area, then the penalty shouldn't have been awarded. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
If there was a foul on the defender, the penalty shouldn't have been awarded. We can agree on that.
Yeah, but I just want to read this, Manny, if you don't mind. I want to go into this because obviously it's Dermot Gallagher, ex-referee. Dermot Gallagher, as we know. Ref watch handball confusion at Luton versus Sheffield United, plus Dermot Gallagher on blue cards, which we'll obviously talk about a little bit later as well. Plus, Nottingham Forest have had a penalty after Newcastle goalkeeper Martin Dubravka's outstretched arm looked like it brought down Tyrone Awoniyi. No, I disagree. That wasn't, because he put his foot into his body, into his arm, and was trying to go down the penalty. We all could see that. Was Luis Diaz's goal versus Burnley right to stand? And finally, was a yellow card the right call for West Ham goalkeeper Alphonse Areola? Which I think, was that what you were talking about as well?
Yeah, that was the one. And I believe it was the right call because, according to the letter of the law, Areola was pretty much, the last man involved. Normally, in days gone by, that would have been a straight red. But this time, I think they've softened the blow to give to just a yellow card. And that's also what happened in the Asian Cup final when the Jordanian goalkeeper brought down Akram Afif, the Qatar striker, who ended up being the top goal scorer for the tournament.
I didn't see that, so forgive me. I didn't see
obviously you couldn't see that because obviously BBC, ITV, even Channel 4, none of those stations were willing to provide coverage of that, despite the fact that there were a few Premiership stars and even former Premiership stars, including your boy Saman Ghoddos, who played for Iran. So I don't know if Jahan Baksh was with Brighton. I don't think he was ever with Brentford though.
Yeah.
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 So I love this point the
Anyway,
Stepsy makes. There are too many new rules. The refs don't even know them. And that is why, we've all got the referees have all got to have a responsibility to make sure that they have a proper meeting every single season during the summer, or at least during a new winter break, if there is, to discuss all of these things, discuss all the controversies, and make sure that these things are avoided. But the problem is, as I've said, Mr. B, you know, the bosses love
yeah,
the controversy. Nothing is going to be done about this. It's like, you're banging your head against a brick wall asking for change, and yet we're not going to see anything of the sort happening because, you just know that they're going to sit on their hands and just let things take their course. And they know that warts and all, the Premier League is still the most watched league in the world, and a few people turning off their
yeah,
tellies because they're disgusted with the controversy won't really affect overall viewership. It will take a much bigger effort, and the problem is because a lot of clubs will say, well, this doesn't affect me, so why should I be a part of this nonsense? One day it will affect you badly, and then you'll really be angry about it. And so I take the view that even if a VAR decision or a controversial decision were to affect my team, it's still my team's responsibility to rise above it and play better. So I'm still going to watch it, but I completely agree that all of these officials and these bigwigs at the top, you know how they say the fish rots from the head down because they're all so
mm,
lazy, a bunch of lazy rotten gits. You're going to get some
yeah,
lazy rotten stuff, and the cliches are there. If you're led by a clown, you expect a circus.
yeah. That's Arteta for you. But anyway,
Absolutely, mate.
although not yesterday, I've got to admit we can let him off a bit yesterday, can't we? After that,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. He got it right
um,
yesterday, but listen, all these amazing results will mean nothing if you can't, win anything. I mean, look at Saudi Arabia. They beat Argentina in the World Cup. They didn't qualify for the
mm,
second round, did they?
no, it didn't matter anything. Well, I suppose for them it was amazing, to beat Argentina. Well, for a lot of people, it's a shock, to see that happen. But they'll never forget that, will they? They'll never forget that they beat them in the World
Yeah,
Cup.
but
So,
mate, listen, I've seen Saudi Arabia qualify for the second stage in
mm,
1994. They beat
I remember
Morocco
that.
and
Yeah,
Belgium, and they
I
also
remember that.
gave
Yeah.
a star-studded Holland side a really tough game before going down 2-1. And that team, I can tell you, was really the golden generation for Saudi Arabia. Albeit, not many of
Yeah,
them
it was,
were
man.
noticed enough to be able to play very often in Europe. I believe Sami El Jabbar was the only one to be able to play in the Premiership. I believe he was with Wolves for quite some time. But and also in the Asian Cup, the Saudi team didn't even get that far in the tournament. So you know, it's fine to say that you had your day in the sun, but then that's sort of the attitude that a lower end team would have when they have a shock in the FA Cup, a bit like Maidstone
Mm,
against Ipswich or Stevenage against Aston Villa last season, for example.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, mate, I'm getting back to this. I just want to go through this a little bit more. That it says the incident, Sousa headed a corner into Thomas Kaminski's clutches after the ball took a deflection off Reece Burke's hand. As Luton went up the other end, referee Chris Kavanagh paused the play for a VAR check. The official gave the spot kick after visiting the monitor, with James McAtee dispatching the penalty. Dermot says, with the law as it is, to a certain extent, I can understand the decision.
Yeah, nothing more
Referees
from
don't
Gallagher.
like it. Referees don't like it, but it's not the referee's choice. Army's above the shoulder, and it definitely strikes him. That's the rule. There's a number of things. Is his arm extended? Yes, it is. His arm is above his shoulder. Yes, the ball is the ball goal bound? Yes, it's ticked a lot of boxes. It doesn't have to tick them all to be a penalty. It makes it clear. I don't like the rule. Referees don't like the rule, but the rule is a rule. If you see that, you can't unsee it. The VAR saw it and has to give the penalty. Well, I don't know.
You've heard it. You've heard it
I'm
straight from
still
his
not
mouth,
sure.
and You've heard it straight from his mouth, mate. And I'm not going to let this fella off the hook because you might remember the incident when I believe it was Leeds or something. It involved Robbie Keane playing against Manchester United. And he might have had a bit of a tussle with a United player. I don't remember if it was Luke Chadwick or something. I think Keane pushed the United players to the ground. And instead of sending off either or both of those players, Gallagher only gave them yellow cards. And he was immediately, demoted. So Gallagher was never the type of person to really, be a bully as a referee and lay down the law in that regard.
Yeah.
But he does have plenty of experience. And when he says that, I'm not that it's necessarily the gospel, but he said it perfectly. You don't like the rule. I don't like the rule. Heck, even referees don't like it. But, the rule has to be applied. It's like Alan Hansen would say, the law is the law, but the law is a donkey sometimes. An ass.
And what happened to him, Alan Hansen? Who knows? He's gone into hiding, I think. Don't see him anymore these days, do you, Alan Hansen?
Yeah, fine defender in his day. I mean, obviously, maybe he's got some other stuff. You don't see him with the BBC that much anymore, but
no.
It is what it is.
I always used to see him on Match of the Day. People like him, Mark Lawrenson and all that. You don't see him much anymore, do you? So, I don't know what it is. I suppose they probably don't have to do anything anyway. They've made enough money through the sport and everything. So, don't have to be on anything anymore, do they? So, Roddy Marsh is another one. You don't see him much now, do you? So,
yep, 100%.
But there you go. But also getting back to this, yeah. I mean,
and now we're going to. Now we'll take a look at the Luton. No, I'm saying now we'll get to take a look at the Luton penalty. I'm glad you got this page up because that's really going to be interesting. So, so this is the incident. You can read that.
Yeah, Luton got a penalty themselves in similar circumstances after half-time as Elijah Adebayo headed onto Sousa's arm, with Kavanagh called to the monitor once again for the formality, leaving Carlton Morris to pull a goal back for the hosts. Dermot says, I think the decision is really harsh. Yep, the first one I can understand why it's given, but this one I'm looking and I just don't see it. Is it clear and obvious? Is it clear and obvious error? The referee gets sent to the screen and he still has a chance to say no. I think he gets it wrong. I actually thought he'd go across the screen and then say no, but the first one has to be given. So does he have to give the second one because of consistency? Yeah, maybe. But
yeah, so I think what the idea. Yeah, and here's the thing. Like I did mention that I couldn't really see the Luton penalty because I didn't have a clear view of that. But maybe I'll just I can try again. Maybe another. I mean,
I can't show it on here because of copyright.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to do that, mate. I'm not asking you to do that at all. Far from it.
I know, mate.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So it's funny, really, because now. Yeah, I've seen the Burke penalty, and more I see it, Burke actually flips his left hand up. So I don't think, he can escape any blame for that. Reese must have been in pieces for that. Reese's pieces, as it were. And
yeah, I do like that.
So I am taking a look now at the Luton penalty, and I'll tell you what, it still doesn't look too clear to me. And wait, let me see Vinny's hands. I see. Well, the only mitigating thing in his favour is that, when the ball's being headed away from the goal, but Vinny still had no business raising his hands above his head like that.
No.
So, I'm going to disagree with Gallagher. Well, I think, at least Gallagher accepts it because of consistency. You've got to give that one. Stepsy's also said that in the chat. And, when the referee takes a look at that and sees Sousa's hands above his head, I think, he has no choice, really. We all agree nobody likes the law, but that is the way the law is, and it has to be given. And, again, if you decide to include mitigating circumstances in something like this, those circumstances really have got to be, nailed on, ironclad, which will which could potentially take away something like that. And then, even then, the law may say that the law is the law and it has to be upheld, and yet. This is why there've got to be some guidelines for referees about the law and how it must be applied, and why they're not working as hard as they can to really apply those guidelines for all, situations and circumstances. More work has to be done. It's the job of the referees, and it's very easy for former referees like Dermot Gallagher to play, Monday morning manager or Monday morning centre forward and say, you know what, this was right, this was wrong, and so forth. Why can't you look at that and eliminate all of those mistakes? We're going to see a lot more of these things happening every single season unless some stricter guidelines are applied and more work is taken. And more's the tragedy, Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, true. But I'm sorry, fella. I don't think it. I don't think they're both penalties. I don't agree with either of those. What he's saying, and to do it for consistency is just not right. It's like, why would you send someone else off just to level the playing field? When you sent someone off, why send someone else off for nothing, hardly anything, just to level it up? That's never made sense. So I don't get what they're saying here, mate. So I'm sorry. It just seems wrong. These rules are, what are we in a dictated state or whatever, of a dictatorship, are we here? Because that's the way it seems to be. That what they say goes. These referees, and it shouldn't be that way. These rules are, are stupid. Some of these rules, and I sometimes think they're made up by people who don't know football. To be quite honest,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I really do.
And I hope you don't mind that I am disagreeing with you. That obviously.
No, I don't, mate. Listen, it's called a debate show for a reason. We don't necessarily agree on everything. If we can agree on everything, fantastic. If we don't agree on certain things, that's why we have discussions and we agree to disagree. We move on and we get other people. Yeah, exactly.
Because we all thought the same. What a boring world it'd be, wouldn't it, Manny? So.
Absolutely, mate.
But I happen to agree with you on a lot of other things. So don't worry, I'm not just doing this time. It's not because you're an Arsenal fan or anything. But
of course,
no, of course not. But anyway, getting on to Forest Newcastle incident, which I think you may have been. Yeah, you were talking about. Nottingham Forest felt hard done by after referee Anthony Taylor dismissed their claim for a penalty. When Newcastle goalkeeper Mindy Bravka's outstretched arm looked like it brought down to Wonyi. VAR gets it and confirmed the on-field decision. Dermot says, I can understand the referee not giving it from this angle, but when you see the replay, you can see that Dubravka flicks his arm up, and that's what causes the problem for Wonyi. When he brings the arm up, that's what VAR should see on the replay, and that's why I thought it was a penalty. Again, I disagree. Because I was watching that, and he lost control of the ball. There was no way he was going to get to it and get a shot at goal. It was going out of play. So he put his actual foot into the goalkeeper's top here, the shoulder. He put his foot there. Just to go over and go over the goalie. So that's never a penalty, and that's wrong. And he's got that wrong, Gallagher. What are you saying there? It certainly wasn't a penalty.
Yeah, and I think moments before that, Awani actually had a goal scored, but it was disallowed for offside, and that was actually a correct decision because I'm just taking a look at the incident right now. And it does look as though Awani loses control, and we will probably see what VAR thinks of it, maybe. But obviously Awani's, angry, and excellent view of here now. So it goes off his knee. There's a defender with him, and Dubravka doesn't even make contact with Awani at all, and neither does the defender. I think it's Botman who was on his tail. I recognise that number 4. So, so Yeah, neither defender nor goalkeeper make contact with our knee.
No.
There's no way that you could give that a penalty. I'm sorry, no chance, no chance.
Well, we agree on that one, Manny, at least. But he's a shambles, fast, at times, and I just think, these players have been quite cute. Well, they're trying to be cute and try and leave their foot there, and you see some just dive like that when they're not even anyone near them, nearly, and you can see, well, they should be booked. Some of them get away with it though. Doing that, they dive, just dive like that, and you think, well, look,
Exactly. And what really amuses me is how Gallagher talks about how Martin Dubravka flicked his arm up, and for Pete's, he flicked his arm up, but our knee was already on the way down when he flicked it up. So, for Pete's sake, come on, Dermot, sir. Sorry, no. Steve, you and I agree with this. Gallagher's wrong. Gallagher's completely wrong there.
And he did get a lot wrong as well when he was referee. I thought that. And, it's good that they say he's an expert. You got him on there. But, but why didn't he, some of these things he said, why didn't you do that when you was playing, when you was a referee then? Why didn't you do it when you actually refereeing? You talk a load of crap, mate, at the end of the day. You can say it all now, but you didn't do it when you was actually refereeing any games. And you cocked up a lot.
It's I think there's sort of there's a derogatory saying that if you end up teaching at a university, it's because you weren't quite able to necessarily make it professionally. And this is an interesting one. We're coming to the Areola Saka incident. You might want to read that first.
Yeah, sure, mate. Right. Where is it? Liverpool and Burnley, is it? Yeah.
Oh, Liverpool-Burnley. What happened there?
Right, that's the Diaz one, I believe. There were a couple of checks on Luis Diaz's goal to give Liverpool a 2-1 lead against Burnley. The goal was checked for an offside against Harvey Elliott and the foul by Alexis McAllister on Aaron Ramsey. The Dermot says, I wasn't convinced it was a foul. I think if a foul is going to be given in this incident, Luis Diaz's goal, it's got to be the on-field referee.
Right, so you mentioned the foul. Who committed that foul? Well, I think Mr. B seems to have, lost his connection. He will be coming back. And to those of you who are watching, I think he's talking about the Diaz goal against Burnley. So I've got it going on YouTube, and I'm just going to take a look at that right now. This was, of course, after Dara O'Shea equalised for Burnley with a nice header beyond his fellow Irishman, Caoimhin Kelleher.
I think I got booted out again there, Manny. Got booted out.
I don't know why that happens to you. I'm sorry, mate. But
I think it's these referees don't like what I'm saying, I think. These referees.
Yeah, so there was a foul actually on a Liverpool player, but an advantage was played. The big issue here was Elliott in an offside position, because he actually didn't score the goal, but he contributed to it. So I want to take a look at the angles here and just see if he... No. I don't think there was anything here, because what happened was he timed his run perfectly, and it wasn't he who was offside, Elliott, the number 19. You can see him running there on the right. Now, if you take a look at the lead up to the goal again, you can see that there was another Liverpool player that was ahead of him in the box. So he timed his run perfectly, and VAR could definitely have taken a look at that, because he would have been someone who was heavily involved in the build-up to the goal. But if they didn't check it then there really was no case to answer. And I don't think there was a foul on any Burnley player in the build-up there, so no real controversy in that regard.
No.
What does Mr. Gallagher say? What does Mr. Gallagher say?
What on that one? He said, I must have gone off. I was reading it, and I must have gone off. You probably didn't hear
You
that.
did. You said it. You said it. Yeah, go ahead. Read it again.
I wasn't convinced it was a foul. If a foul is going to be given in this instant, Luis Diaz's goal, It's got to be the on-field referee, not VAR. Otherwise, you're re-refereeing a football match.
So he said. So they claimed that there was a foul on Ramsey by McAllister. I didn't see that. No. I mean, it didn't look the best. I think it looked as though McAllister was. Just taking a look at that again. No. I don't think there was. There wasn't. No.
To be honest,
we
I
can
didn't
move
really
on
notice it as much. I didn't see that one as much as some of these others.
We could know that, and for some reason, it was McAllister. It was McAllister who ended up on the floor.
Oh well, yeah, I did see him go over McAllister, so I don't know whether they thought it was a foul or whatever or something. But I didn't really see that one, Manny, to be honest. So I'm not sure with that one.
Yeah, but go ahead.
But yeah, there's nothing to be seen with that. I think this is the one you're talking about with Areola, isn't it, coming up?
Yeah.
Arsenal were awarded a penalty when Bukayo Saka ran onto a long ball and was fouled by Alphonse Areola. The West Ham goalkeeper was shown a yellow card. There was a question of offside, but VAR confirmed Saka was onside. Was the decision just to award Areola a yellow correct? I think it was, because there was a player coming back. There was another player, wasn't there, coming back? So it wasn't just...
There was, yes.
So if there's no player there, he's not the last man, is he? So really, that's the right decision.
Yeah, exactly. And even if the player in question was number 27, Naif Agard, who, of course, might have been on duty for Morocco in the African Cup of Nations, but then came home very early. And, the way it was done was that even if Saka were able to successfully round Agard, Areola rather, Agard was in fact coming back to cover for his goalkeeper. The commentators were in no doubt that Areola actually caught Saka's foot and sent him tumbling, and there was definitely no case to answer for the offside. In any case, the VAR officials did check that. So, nothing to see there.
No. Well, what he said, Dermot said, penalty and the yellow card is sufficient. Yeah, because he's in the penalty area. Saka gets taken down. Is he going to score a goal? Maybe. The rule is yellow card. I think Areola would be very unlucky to receive a red card in that situation. Yeah, I agree with him there. Do agree. I won't go into that blue card thing yet because we're obviously going to be talking about that in a little while. So, but obviously, I do agree with him on that one. So, because, really, I mean, he wasn't the last man. And, I think, probably Saka may have scored, but that's got nothing to do with it anyway. So, he wasn't the last man. So, fair enough. So really, I suppose we covered that a fair bit. And really, I mean, what I put there, obviously, I mean, after saying the new rule is a joke, should it be scrapped or changed? Do you feel, would it be done or not? Or will they just
I don't think it's going to be scrapped or changed. I think, they pretty much made it clear that they want to try to crack down on any uncertainties regarding handballs in the penalty area. And if this is the way it has to happen, to crack down on deliberate handballs, then, so be it. But obviously, defenders are now going to have to make sure that they are well informed of the rule and how it has to be, and how they're going to have to, play in order to mitigate any kind of damage. I told you it's an occupational hazard. And sadly, I don't think they will change it, at least not anytime soon.
Yeah. Oh, well. We just have to carry on with it, I suppose, and just, put up with it.
Keep calm and carry on, as we would say.
Yeah. True. But obviously it ain't going to stop us discussing all this, is it? So we're always going to keep discussing all this stuff. So
You bet.
till the cows come home, really. But anyway, I'll move on to the next subject, and I've only got two subjects today. Really, there wasn't a hell of a lot else to talk about, but I thought, and really, this sort of started. I think maybe was it last week, the week before, with this sin bin thing. I think was maybe last week, but this thing here, the blue card sin bin trial, will be happening soon. Apparently Friday, I believe. But do we actually need this? It was successfully implemented into rugby, but that's different. Will it actually work in football? Yeah, two different sports.
It's ridiculous, really. And I want to shout out Warren's Team Talk, who's now started a segment called where he basically gives his take on a lot of the news taking place in various other sports apart from football. He has a lot to say about it, and obviously, former Arsenal legend Magic Man Paul Merson had a lot to say about it, and he was, literally fit to be tied about it.
Yeah.
I know you're not fond of what you call the egg chasing, Steve, but growing up as a child, I loved watching rugby union. And the reason why it's pertinent that I mentioned rugby union is because at that time, the sin bin wasn't implemented. That thing was more with the rugby league side of things, supposedly the more professional side. And what they now do is, it was used in the recent World Cup final where there were two incidents contrasting involving both the South Africa and New Zealand captains, Sia Khaleesi and Sam Cane. And both of them were sent to the sin bin for dangerous play. And so when you're in the sin bin for 10 minutes, the VAR people will, look at that. They do have a video review booth as well, and they will determine if that piece of play involving you was, very serious foul play or not. If it wasn't serious foul play, you are let back onto the field. But if it was serious foul play, you stay off the field. And that's exactly what happened with poor Sam Cane, who ended up staying off the field, leaving his team to try and fight so bravely to win. And they came within 1 point of the Proteas, the Springboks rather. And they had their chances to win, but couldn't quite take them. And it was tragic for them in a way, and Sam Cane ended up, feeling really dreadful about it. But the reason why it shouldn't be applied in football is because for all of the talk about how, the rules that are being used these days are utterly stupid, you've got to say that when the technology is applied for certain fouls, they are decisive. If you are deemed to have really engaged in serious foul play, under review from the VAR committee, yellow cards will immediately be upgraded to red cards, and then you get sent off. Or if you were unknowingly erroneously issued a red card, and VAR determines that shouldn't have been given, the referee can change the decision and offer you a yellow card instead. Or in the case of a second bookable offence, if you are deemed not to have fouled that person, cancel that yellow card. So why you would want to use a sin bin and a blue card for that, I have no idea. And the very idea that it can be introduced at this stage when the season's already in full swing, I think it's absolutely, it's sacrilegious to say the very least.
Exactly, yeah. I agree with you, 100%. At the end of the day, we're talking about football here. It's all very well changing these other rules that they keep doing with the handball and offside and this and that. But this is a totally different. This is nothing to do with football. This was all put into rugby, and that it works in rugby. It works in, I think, hockey as well. Is it hockey? It's into ice. Is it ice hockey or hockey?
I think they do. Yes, in ice hockey. In ice hockey, yes, you're right.
Yeah. So it all works perfectly well there. But why has it got to be implemented into football? Because it's nothing to do with that. And,
mate, I absolutely have no idea who came up with the idea of introducing that in the first place. With regard to rugby and football, they're both different sports, and they also have different codes of conduct. A lot of the nonsense that players get involved in football, you wouldn't see happening in rugby because they have a very strict code of professionalism and etiquette, and several players will actually, string sort of. They will rough you up literally, even if you're their teammate, if you engage in
Yeah,
that sort of nonsense. In football, it's as if anything goes, really.
yeah. I'll just go through this piece here, Manny, what it says, because obviously
Please
want
do,
to
please do.
sort
I love,
of.
I love
Uh,
hearing your voice.
well, cheers, mate. Yeah, I ain't got the great voice as you, I'm afraid, when I'm talking. But obviously, you got a voice for radio as well. Has anyone told you that? It's like the voice you used to
Yeah,
have on radio, and
people
you know,
people have, and I'm grateful to them for their compliments. But if there
yeah.
were an opportunity, I would definitely jump at it. But sadly, none have been forthcoming. But that's a story for another day. Go ahead, sir.
Anyway, right, football's lawmakers, IFAB, is IFAB, isn't it? Or is it LFAB? I don't know. Are to trial sin binning players and issuing blue cards. It will be announced on Friday. Sin bins have been used at grassroots level for dissent, but their use could be extended to cynical fouls as part of a trial. A player would spend 10 minutes in the technical area after being given a yellow card by blue card by a referee. It is not yet clear when the trial will start and which competitions it will involve. The Premier League has already ruled out being part of the initial rollout of any trial, while football's world governing body FIFA said reports of the so-called blue card at elite levels of football are incorrect and premature. It added any such trials, if implemented, should be limited to testing in a responsible manner at lower levels, a position that FIFA intends to reiterate when this agenda item is discussed at the IFAB AGM annual general meeting on the 1st of March. IFAB International Football Association Board is scheduled to hold its annual meeting at Loch Lomond in Scotland in March, and sin bin trials at higher levels of the game are listed as a topic for discussion in the agenda. Sin bin trial plan recommended for professional games. Sin bins were piloted in 2018-19, with the Football Association reporting a 38% total reduction in dissent across 31 leagues. They were introduced across all levels of grassroots football from the 2019-20 season in an attempt to improve levels of respect and fair play. The rule change was then implemented up to step 5 of the National League system and tier 3 and below in women's football. I think there is frustration for fans watching games when they see a promising counter-attack that's ruined by that, a tactical foul. FA Chief Executive Mark Bullingham previously said, the question of whether a yellow card is sufficient, but that has led to us looking at whether that should be involved in the protocol as well. The starting point was looking at player behaviour and dissent. We're then looking at whether we should extend it into the other areas, such as tactical fouls as well. So there you go. That's what they've had to say. Right. Oh, right, Manny's gone. Back in 60 seconds. No worries, mate. Cool. Take your time. It's all right. No rush, man. No rush to get back. Right. So there you go. I mean, whatever's being said here, I pretty much disagree with. I just don't like this rule at all. That they're going to implement this blue card, this sin bin. It's not going to work in football. I just don't see it. I don't get it. Who's making these rules? Who comes up with these ideas? It's just, it works perfectly in the sports it's in, rugby, hockey. Ice hockey. Sorry. It works perfectly well in them, but they're different games. They're different sports. In football, it's a different matter. I mean, leave it alone. Yellow, red cards, it works perfectly well, even though the referees don't always implement it well. don't always get it right. And VAR, don't get me started on VAR. But it's terrible. And while Manny's away for a little while, I'll go into the. Obviously, I'm 2 away from 100 people on my subs. So please sub if you're new on here. Be great, and keep smashing the likes, and obviously follow me down there on. You see down there on Mr. B for Life 182 on Insta. Please keep supporting me. I'm just 2 away from 100, as I said, and I'll do a special stream when I get to 100. Try and invite a lot of people on, a lot of my members, and do other things, maybe a Q&A and things like that, and competition or 2 maybe and stuff. So, so please try and get me to 100 if you're enjoying all these streams I'm doing, this content. If you're loving it, because obviously I also get my views up on my last stream, the review I done, the reaction to our win against Wolves on Saturday. So please try and get them up, people. Keep try and get watching that, watching my other content, other videos, and if you're liking all this, please keep it going for me. Cheers. Appreciate all your support, everyone. It's important. Love doing this channel, and love all the content I'm bringing out on this Bees channel. So there isn't any real other Bees channels around that I know of. So this is a one-off, and I really need to keep it going and keep talking about my little team, which is brilliant, Brentford. So really got to keep it going. Keep watching my content and keep supporting me. It's all good. Really appreciate it. And obviously this has been a really good discussion again today. I apologise for being on a bit late again, of course. I was supposed to be on at 1, but didn't get on to about, I think, 1:15 nearly. But I've got on at last, and I think everyone knows now I'm a little bit late, but obviously other things turn up. You can't always control them. So anyway, I've got on, and my guest has been great again, Manny. He talks a lot of sense. He knows a lot of the stuff about football and other sports. Of course, he does other sports, as obviously cricket, as we all know. Loves his cricket. Does a lot with Hannah on there, on his channel for the cricket and all that, the Coach's Corner channel. So please follow him as well. Follow his channel, Hannah. Great channel, got loads of sport. He was doing obviously the AFCON, covering that recently, and the Asia Cup. So go and check all that content out. Brilliant. Manny goes on plenty of other channels, so follow him and support him as well when you can. He'll obviously share our socials at the end of this, so please follow him. He's on a lot of different things, and a great guy, nice bloke, and he talks a lot of sense. So please follow him, and when he's come back, we'll get into this a lot more. But it's I just don't get this. It's a strange thing. Why they want to do it, I don't know. Obviously, they've gone for the positives. That apparently it's got a lot of the dissent down and from players and this and that, but I don't know. It's not actually been used in the Premiership. It's not. I don't think in real top league football like the Premiership, maybe, or
Mate,
the Championship.
I am sorry. It was an emergency, and I had to sort of go down as soon as possible. But I've
got your message. Don't worry.
So obviously you will have read that article, and they have their justifications for it, right?
Yeah, the thing is, they're saying, oh, it's brought the descent level down and stuff. I don't know. Will it do though? Will it really work out? I don't know. I mean, it's not actually been used in top level football, like the Premiership or Championship or abroad in Spain or Germany or Italy or anything. I don't think, has it? So, you
What
know, I don't know.
really, what really surprises me about this, Steve, is that the people responsible for this whole thing, the guardians of the game, are so tone deaf.
Yeah,
They know that there's a lot of controversy going on right now with VAR being introduced and how it sort of affected the flow of the game. Um, you know, I think we've got final score pundits Glenn Murray and Anita Asante saying, you know, they should just leave the game alone. Blue cards should never
yeah,
be. And even Jurgen Klopp saying that if the blue cards had been used, it would have sparked Wild West scenes. And Postecoglou saying it will, you know, destroy the game. So seriously, you've got to read the room, for Pete's sake. Read the damn room. I
yeah.
mean, and the fact that people are not willing to even do that is just, you know, that it's arrogance and tone deafness personified. Really, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Exactly. But they think, oh, they're in charge, they can do what they want. But, and stuff the other people, you know, us, the supporters of the game and our teams, you know, stuff us at the end of the day. And I think it's wrong. You know, we pay our money, we go see these matches, we go see our teams. And, you know, we get these stupid rule things coming in that you know, that make it harder to watch. You know, why mess with the beautiful game? Why mess with it all? You know, it just don't seem right.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think it's mentioned in the article the Premier League have ruled out being a part of this rollout of any trial, and football's world governing body have said that any reports of the so-called blue card at elite levels of football are incorrect and premature. You must test these things in a responsible manner at lower levels, and FIFA will reiterate that when they discuss that at the IFAB meeting on the 1st of March. This story really should be a non-starter, and the fact that it's being given so much traction, I mean, it is really silly, but, you know, what can you do? Such as the way things are going these days, really.
I think we all remember this incident, Manny, don't we? At the Euros, Italy, England.
Poor Bukayo Saka. And the way Cellini was screaming, it's coming to Rome, it's coming to Rome. Well, poetic justice
Pathetic.
that Italy...
Terrible.
Poetic justice that Italy failed to qualify for the subsequent World Cup.
Boo-hoo, Italy, boo-hoo. What a shame, eh? Yeah.
Yep. And I didn't want them to qualify for Euro 2004 at the expense of 2024. Yeah, I didn't want them to qualify for Euro 2024 at Ukraine's expense either. But, you know, what can you do? I suppose the Italians need to be at a major tournament, or do they really?
So really, if they picked him up with this, what he done, because really they should have done. But Italians get away with so much, let's be honest. But if they picked him up with this, would he have then, if this was implemented, he would have got a blue card, would he, for doing this?
He would have gotten a blue card. He would have been sent to the sin bin, and he would have been, you know, taken off at the end of the game. But my issue is, why didn't VAR take a look at that? Why didn't VAR see him pulling his shirt and literally strangling Saka there? It was disgusting. So let's not talk about how the blue card would have solved this problem, because VAR was supposed to have solved that problem. Cellini was supposed to have been sent off. He was supposed to have been sent off for that level of violent conduct.
Cellini, really, let's be honest. He's a tosser. I can't stand the guy.
Yeah.
A lot of them Italians I just can't stand. But they're all foulers. They think they can get away with cheating all the time, you know, what they do. It's just so wrong.
over the years, Italy have been a team of extremes. They provide some really beautiful football, but then they also are a bunch of really foul, dirty, buggers, for want of a nicer word. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm swearing again. Sorry about that, Manny.
Yeah, and of course, I can never forget how Italy cheated against Australia to beat them in the group stages of 2006 en route to winning the trophy. Some of these Italian players are absolute legends of the game, and some are a bunch of utter, ne'er-do-wells. But what can you do? Daniel De Rossi is definitely another one.
Yeah. Says if implemented at the top level, blue cards will be the first major disciplinary change since the introduction of yellow and red cards back in 1970. Players will be shown the blue card if they are guilty of committing a cynical foul, or if they show dissent towards the referee, linesman, or fourth official. Well, a lot of them will be getting that then, won't they? They keep showing dissent towards the ref, linesman, or fourth official, which we all know happens. These offences are all currently punished with a yellow. However, the threat of a 10-minute timeout in the sin bin would be a bigger deterrent. Well, will it? Will it really? And should a player receive two blue cards in a game, they will be sent off. The same as for two yellows. So the days of tactical fouling and players stopping promising attacks or counters with shirt pulls, such as Italy star Giorgio Chiellini's brutal tug on England star Bukayo Saka in the Euro 2020 final, could soon come to an end. 6 trials in minor leagues in Wales began this season. In Wales, that says it all. It's soon with blue cards in operation, although that had to be stopped as permission was not granted. The concept, though, is likely to be backed and officially on the agenda for the IFAB annual general meeting at Loch Lomond on March the 2nd. Right. So in Wales, it was going on in Wales, and even then it wasn't really given a go ahead to do.
I think the thing about dissent is you already see players, being carded, and we already have this rule that if you receive 5 yellow cards in a season, you will be automatically suspended for one game, the game after you get your 5th card. I take the point when people say that dissent needs to be, cracked down on, but here's the thing, though. Yellow cards in itself can be a deterrent because if you put them one card away from, being sent off, more often than not, they will pretty much shut their mouths. I take the point when a lot of people will say that, it's not really going to decrease everything, but then to just, it's like you're trying to fix everything using a Band-Aid, trying to micromanage everything by, adopting a new rule to solve one small problem, when sometimes, even if dissent may not be punished at that moment, eventually it will lead to some form of a punishment in a way. And so my idea, as Glenn Murray and these other managers are saying, just don't, if it isn't broken,
don't fix it. No.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and we got another guest in here. It's Orest. How you doing, man? All right?
Big up, man. Big up. I think it's my first time here, so big up to you, Mr. B. And
yeah man, good to have you on. First time on here, mate.
Of course. I had to join because certain team lost 2-1. Certain people trying to say Martinez. Yeah.
Will you knock it off? Look, I predicted that Villa would lose. All right. I am not going to have you come over here and chirp at me. I predicted Villa would lose. And you also need to be more grateful to a certain great Scot who got you that winner. So if you're going to come over here and try and chirp at me, forget about it.
But no, look, I know it's not about United, but with the blue card, they're just trying to give referees more control, really, because it's like they don't even have it already. So, look, it's just silly. I don't think it will happen, but the rules, which is crazy to me. Like, I saw one thing that if you get a yellow and a blue card, is equivalent to a red card. So what's the point of giving out yellow cards then? For me, I just don't get it. I don't get what they're trying to do here. So, sin bins, listen, they don't work here, mate. They might work for other competition, but it doesn't work for football.
Yeah,
Just slows the game down. That's what it does. Slows the game down. And when teams have 10 men, they'll just sit back and they'll be more boring and not entertaining. So look, I hope it don't happen. I don't think it will, but it's just silly, the idea, man. Like, first of all, you need to sort out the referees and the FA. Sort out your referees before you bring out anything. So yeah.
If they can't get used to these rules as they are, how are they going to get used to the bloody blue card shit, man?
And the handball rule that they change every year. Like, how are we going to get used to that as well? Like, what's the point?
Yeah, man. What is the point, man? I just leave it as it is, man. You know, it's gone on so long. You know, keep the same rules. They just want to change everything. You know, I mean, why? There's just no reason, man. Why?
Yeah.
Just,
Good win.
keep it as it is, man.
Yeah, it's just silly, man. It really is, and they haven't explained what happens if a goalkeeper gets one. Let's say a goalkeeper gets a blue card, like, what happens then? Well, you have to take off a player, or I don't know. So, plus they say that you get a blue card for dissent. Let's say a Spanish player or Colombian player says something. How the hell is the referee gonna know what the player's talking about, and if the player's talking about him? So I don't know if they're gonna have to get a lip breather, or I don't know, but it's silly for me, like, it really is.
You do realize, Oris, that most of these Latin Americans, with the exception of Brazilians, are Spanish speakers, and even there are some Brazilians also who are quite proficient in Spanish, given that they might play with a lot of Spanish speaking players or play in Spain. So if referees are more fluent in Spanish, then they can pretty much pick up on that right away. And for what it's worth, Spanish cuss words are fairly easy to decipher.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, I mean, all our teams won this weekend, so that's one good thing.
Yeah, man.
Good win for Brentford. Good win for Brentford. Massive win.
Come on the Bees.
I told you guys, Thomas Frank, Brentford fans need to calm down on Thomas Frank. See, he's doing bits for you. He's a massive win, man. Massive win from Thomas Frank.
Yeah, you know what? And I went for him, man. I said them to win, Oris, didn't I? You remember on your show? I said
exactly.
we're going to win.
And obviously,
I said 2-1, but
obviously the star boy Arteta tactics was phenomenal against West Ham. Star boy Arteta, the genius behind Arsenal Club. There's a record that is their
clown prince.
I think it's their first win that they got for 6 goals. So I think I saw a record that it's Arsenal's first win with 6 goals away from home. So yeah, I mean, but
listen. It means nothing if we don't win in the end, and we're still, for what it's worth, third in the league behind both Liverpool and Manchester City. So I say to all these Arsenal fans, don't gas yourselves up. We've still got a long way to go.
City have a game really huge. Yeah.
City have a game in hand, and they're also even on points. I do believe if we take a look at the table, they should be higher than us in terms of
goal difference.
Goal difference, exactly. In fact, this is why I've got the I said it. In fact, their goal difference is actually same as ours, 31, but they've scored more goals than us. So that 6-0 win should have been 7-0. Had it been 7-0, we would have been second. But City also still have a game in hand. Win that, and they're back top.
Mate, West Ham, I don't know, man. David Moyes, I don't know how he's still in the job right now. Like, that is absolutely humiliating.
That was pathetic, man. They were yesterday, West Ham, weren't they?
Pathetic.
Terrible,
no, listen, boys, listen. It was a bad day at the office for them, but for what it's worth, West Ham are still doing well in the Europa League. They're still in the top half of the table. True. And after this season, we're going to see what happens with Moyes, but I actually believe that West Ham would be rather silly to let him go. I mean, look, we've had our share of dreadful results. Maybe we haven't had 6 goals conceded yet, but given the way we performed in some of those games, I wanted Arteta to actually, be given his P45 several months
Yeah.
back, but
Has
it
that
hasn't
changed your
happened.
mind yesterday, Manny, or not? Has it changed your mind?
No.
No, I still
No
think
The
way.
only thing that will change my
game.
mind is seeing Arsenal win something really big this season. We don't have an FA Cup for which to play. We won't have a League Cup for which to play.
Champions League.
We couldn't beat Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League, and and people think we have a chance against Porto in the Champions League. No chance.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can beat Porto, but we've got no chance against the Real Madrids or the Manchester Cities or the Bayern Munichs, who will raise their game for the Champions
There's one
League.
team that ain't in it, Horace, didn't there? It was in the Champions League, isn't it? Isn't there one team that's not in it? Yeah. I think you
But
know.
for me, look, with Arsenal, I think that game against City and the Etihad, that's going to be huge.
Yes, exactly.
If Arsenal are serious, they would go there and win. So, yeah.
That is the archetypal title 6-pointer. We lose that, it's over. I don't care what anyone says.
Listen, with United, people are saying for top 4. Listen, I want top 4, but I want top 4 for a good reason and for us to do good in the Champions League. This season was a nightmare. Like losing to Galatasaray, losing to.
You were leading in that, weren't you? By the way,
Oh,
you were leading against Galatasaray, weren't you?
We was leading against Galatasaray and Copenhagen, and we lost both of them. So, look, it was a silly competition for us. But hopefully, we get some new players in this summer. You know, get rid of McTominay, get rid of other players, and you know.
He scored for you. What do you want to get rid of him for?
Yeah, no.
Look, man.
On Twitter that Orest, you got a McTominay agenda. Like no.
Yeah, he scored again, though, didn't he? He's done a
Scored,
job.
but without goals, he is crap. Like if you guys watch him when he starts,
for Scotland.
You can't control the midfield. He's silly. He's scared to put a tackle in. Like he just can't string passes. All his passes are backwards, sideways, backwards.
Have you never heard of the saying, "Do not look a gift horse in its mouth"?
Yeah, Arsenal would have him, wouldn't you? McTominay. You'd have him,
I'd have him over Kai Havertz for sure. He scored more than Havertz anyway.
The German giraffe, yeah. Definitely over him, yeah.
But no, I think that United go to Villa Park and win. I think that's very good for us. I know the performance wasn't up there, but Villa, they didn't take the chance, man. They had chance. I was scared when they made the 1-1. I was scared. I was like, oh no, we're gonna lose now. We're gonna do some mistakes. But I thought, you know what, Harry Maguire was absolutely phenomenal. You know, now he got man of the match, but listen, it was good. But it's funny because us United fans, we wanted him out in the summer. It was like saying, get him out. But listen, when you perform well, you get your credits, and that's what happened last night. So fair play to Maguire. We made Ollie Watkins look like Kai Havertz. So yeah.
That was Ollie, wasn't it? He was there. Harry Maguire, wasn't it? Ollie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course you did the double. You did the double over Villa this season, as did Newcastle, but all the signs are saying that this is just a blip and Aston Villa will be back in contention for the top 4. If they do manage to get top 4 this season, then we have to give our props to Unai Emery. What a fine job he's done with that team. And Champions League football, the riches that will come with that, they'll deserve everything, all the credits that come their way.
I'm not even trying to be funny or I'm saying this purposely, but I think Martinez recently, he's looked out of form, you know. Like, what Manny wants to say, but recently, he's a bit shaky, you know.
I wouldn't call him shaky, but look, when you're in a situation where you've played, Orest, will you quit laughing, son? At least allow me the courtesy to say what I want to say, and I am always fair-minded, all right? I'm always fair-minded, and listen, I'm one of the first people to sort of say that when he hasn't really been on top of his game, I'm not really going to praise him every single game. As you know, I never predict a clean sheet for him because sometimes the defending of Aston Villa is so inept and incompetent, it's scary. And, there have been moments, I will agree, when he hasn't quite looked on it. Fatigue might have crept in. And several of those players, it's not just Martinez, McGinn, everyone else, they just look really tired. But it's not really much of an excuse, I would say, in the whole scheme of things. But, you know, they've also had blips in the season before and they've come back. Martinez has also had a bit of a blip and he's come back stronger. Last season,
Luca.
I believe, if memory serves me right, you know, they had a period where they lost 3 straight, including to my Arsenal at Villa Park. That was, of course, they lost to Leicester City at home. They lost to Manchester City at the Etihad. They lost to us at home, and they conceded 11 goals in those 3 games. But they bounced back well, and they ended up finishing 7th. Who's to say they won't bounce back? In fact, there is a brilliant article on the football section of BBC Sport, which says that we shouldn't really worry because they are going to find their way back. And I'm just trying to look for that, really. I'm pretty certain I saw it. Hold on a minute. Yep, here it is. They will make the top 4. Why Aston Villa will not fizzle out. And with your permission, Mr. B, I would like to share that. Just to, shut up all of the critics of Unai Emery. Emery is a quality manager who was never, ever given. Knock it off. Him over Arteta any day of the week and twice on a Sunday. And him over Ten Hag too.
No.
Button it, son. No. So Aston Villa have now lost 3 home games in a row, 2 in the Premiership, 1 in the FA Cup. But according to Stephen Warnock, the former Villa defender, they will finish in the top 4. There is no chance that their season will just fizzle out. It will hurt, a big blow psychologically, because the draw would have maintained the 8-point gap between the 2 clubs. It was also the second time in the space of a few weeks that Villa dominated against United for long spells, ending up on the losing side, though. They had lost another thrilling game, 3-2 at Old Trafford, and Villa have now seen 6 points go to a direct rival for a Champions League spot. A setback, but having followed Villa closely all season, spending time with their squad in the United States during the summer series in July, I'm confident they will respond. The organisation I've seen from Unai Emery, his game plan, the tactical tweaks he makes during games, they will still have enough. And as far as Ollie Watkins is concerned, and this is a response to that crack where apparently he was made to look like Kai Havertz, they have not suddenly started playing badly despite some poor results. The biggest difference now compared to the start of the season is that they're not taking their chances. And RSU said that. Ollie Watkins up front is going through a bit of a spell where things aren't quite falling for his favour. But earlier, everything he touched turns to goals.
It's like he back Brentford. There you go.
Yeah. Sadly, he's only scored twice in his past 7 Premier League appearances, compared to the 9 goals he was able to manage in the first 17 league games of the season. He's getting the same number of chances per game, but his shot conversion is almost halved and has gone from overperforming to underperforming with his expected goals. And this is what happens, when you pretty much play him practically every game. He does get tired. And I've said on many occasions that Villa's bench strength will be what could affect their season. They weren't able to make too many purchases. I believe they brought Rodgers in from Middlesbrough, who also was on the books at Manchester City and Bournemouth, among other clubs. So, obviously, Rodgers was a key part of the Middlesbrough side that, went all the way to the FA Cup semi-finals and gave Chelsea a huge run for their money. I mean, the League Cup semi-finals, I should say. So, if Emery sees a lot in him, then there's no reason why he shouldn't play in a few more games this season, because like Arsenal, they're out of both cups, but they also have a European trophy for which to fight. And they have a better chance of winning that European trophy than we have ours. So, again, stats. Behind Watkins, Moussa Diaby's form has dipped too. He's been involved far less. They've missed having Diaby at his best, but they're still creating opportunities. They had enough chances to win the game. It would be far worse for Emery and his players that they were losing games without having those openings and thinking, well, we didn't have an identity or a clear idea of what we're trying to achieve. So it's a case of all that work, huffing and puffing, and just not being able to blow down the house. And when Warnock watched Villa train in the summer and spoke to Emery, he was impressed with the level of detail in his coaching and how his players understood why they were doing it and why they were playing in a certain way. And that's why he tipped them to make the top 4, which not even I did. I hope that they would maybe get a Europa League place or at least win the Conference League to get into the Europa League proper. But over the past 6 months, having put that preparation into practice on the pitch, there is a clear identity and pattern to their play. It was the same against United. Emery is supposedly adaptable in his approach. He showed that again on Sunday. No matter how hard United tried to counteract what Villa they were doing, they still found ways of getting in behind them. It was just not the end product that they wanted. It was missing. And it would have been a very different game if not for a certain Andre Onana who made some great saves. And I'll tell you what, Oris, he is talented, but you've got to accept that he is far more inconsistent than Martinez is. So Warnock isn't panicking about Villa on the back of that result. There are a lot of positives to take out of the game. The biggest concern is, and as I've said, is their squad deep enough? Villa have made a total of 32 changes to their starting 11 in 24 Premier League games, the fewest in the top flight. 10 of their outfield players have played more than 1,800 minutes in all competitions, compared to 5 for United and 3 for Tottenham. And Villa should have signed more players in January. They signed 4 young players, but Morgan Rogers is the only one in their first team squad. You've got to keep improving as a team, but that comes down to the quality of your players. You need clinical players or game changers. Diaby was that game changer for Villa at the beginning of the season, but if his form has dipped, who do they turn to? Emi Buendia is out with a long-term injury. They don't have the depth to carry on that progress. They signed Nicolo Zaniolo from Galatasaray on loan in August, but he's only done okay in short bursts. Villa's squad are capable of qualifying for the Champions League, especially if England secures an extra spot. 5th place might be enough. But at the moment, it looks like they're in a fight with Manchester United and Tottenham for that 4th and 5th position. And my worry is that the amount of European football they've already played, the Europa Conference League, everything could catch up with them. They've only used 27 players in the Premier League this season, which is only about average. But the outfield players have played more minutes, been rotated less, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. Outfield players, John McGinn, Ezri Konsa, Douglas Luiz, Ollie Watkins, Boubacar Kamara, Matthew Cash, Moussa Diaby, Luca Digne, Pau Torres, Leon Bailey, enough to fill a first team by itself. United and Spurs don't have European football to worry about. It already feels like they've been getting strong in the last few weeks as their players have returned from injury or international duty. It's not been the case for Villa. They've lost key defender Ezri Konsa to injury this month. Boubacar Kamara was forced off with a knee problem against United. It makes their task harder, but because they did so well in the first half of the season, they have put themselves in a great position. And with Emery's know-how and guidance, I believe they will push on. And more crucially, boys, Emery has been given so much more respect and backing at Aston Villa than he ever got at Arsenal. At Arsenal, he wanted certain players to join the club. The hierarchy refused, and the fans were never going to give him a chance. At Aston Villa, they absolutely adore him. They think he's absolute quality, and he is being given everything he needs. He's won trophies before. He took Villarreal to the semi-finals of the Champions League after winning the Europa League at Arsenal's expense. I think Villa are going to be fine. They were never tipped to win the Premier League. Very few of people tipped them to qualify for the Champions League. I hope that they would qualify for Europe again, so they can still be proud of their season. But last season, they recovered from that mini blip. There's no reason why they can't do it again. They just need a few proper players to come back into their team. Next season, they will strengthen in the summer, and some players who just can't cut the mustard will be taken out. I never rated Kamara anyway, but he has been important. Douglas Luiz is also another player who's lost form. But don't write Villa off just yet. And for what it's worth, United are still some way behind Aston Villa. So doing the double over Villa is meaningless, son, unless your team can continue to perform well. And remember, we did the double over Leicester in 2016. We still finished second to them as they won the Premiership. So you got to keep kicking on.
We're still undefeated in 2024. So look, I think it's been 5 games and 1 draw. So look, I'm not
fair enough.
I'm not going to get carried away.
No.
Because for me,
stay grounded, man.
Luton away next week, I could see us losing or drawing, to be honest. So look, it won't be easy Luton away. Then obviously we do face City in March. We got City. I think we have to play Liverpool soon. We got Arsenal towards the end of the season. We still got big games left.
Got us as well. Don't forget.
Oh yes, we'll lose as well.
Yeah, you will. Yeah.
Brentford away.
Sony with a hat trick there, man.
I know Brentford. I know Brentford are not good this season. Going to Brentford is not easy. So look, we'll see what United turn up on that day. But look, I'm not getting carried away. I'm going to take it game by game. But look, we still need to perform better because I still think we were poor against Villa yesterday. So perform better. And yeah, I think thing is with United, whenever we're 1-0 up, we just sit back. Like we need to score for more goals. Like 2-0 is still a dangerous score now, so we need to score for more goals. But these United players think, oh, you know what, it's fine. Let's just sit back and then it'll be fine. No, it's not like that because Premier League now is more competitive, it's more intense. So yeah, I'm happy that I think you guys have seen it, but it's our first away win against the top 9 on the 10 of the season. So look, we finally managed to get an away win against the top 9. So yeah, that's good to see. But look, a lot of teams did lose when they went to Villa. Like City lost 1-0, Arsenal lost as well. So it is a good result, but we have to take it game by game, and we still got the FA Cup, which I want to win that cup.
I'll just ask you quickly on this, Horace, because obviously I want to bounce in a little while because I've got to get something to eat and whatever. But what about this? What do you make of all this, the handball rule and stuff? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, look, handball now, like, even if it hits your arm, even if you're covering it, like, back against your body, they still give it. Like, they even explained it before. If it does happen, they won't give it, but now they seem to give it. So I just think they're being more harsh with handballs. Like once like touch and then boom, they give it. Like even if it's, I mean, you don't know if it's accidental or not, but they're just being so harsh on this handball rule. Like they need to be more clear on it. Like I don't think they have in the previous years, but yeah, for me, I just think once like touch, boom, penalty. And that's what I mean by the VAR officials, man. They're just incorrect, man. They don't know what they're doing. They can't even draw a straight line on the VAR. And then they want to bring a blue card when they can't even draw a straight line on the technology. Yeah.
Man, it's shit,
for me,
mate.
handball, they change every year, and I'm getting fed up with it. But yeah, that's what I think. Like once they touch here, then they'll give it.
Yeah, because obviously me and Manny were discussing this, and obviously when you jump up, you can't keep your arms down, can you, man? There's just no way. When you're jumping up and you're facing the other way and it hits your hand, what can you do?
But the thing is, about handball, I think for me, the old gun one at Anfield, they should have given that penalty. And I don't know how they did not give penalty for the old guard one. But look, for me, I just think it needs more explanation. I do hope for next season they explain more rules more often. Seeing that they're trying to bring like
they're getting lights up, aren't they? Refs going to get lights up and all that.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, so I mean, hopefully it's true, but I'd love to see it because it did happen. I think it happened in a game. I forgot where. I think it's in Canada or somewhere. But they brought up the mics for the referee, so I need to see that in the Premier League. But yeah, for me, decisions they need to be explained. I'd rather, for me, referees do a post-match interview. But if it's mic'd up, I don't mind it. But yeah, either that or post-match interviews. But yeah.
There can be a lot of explaining for them to do. I cocked up this bloody decision all the time, isn't it? Because they do cock up a lot, these refs, and I think, who we really got that's any good, these referees, any day, now.
Good ref. There's no one good ref. I'm being honest. Like, people could say, obviously, he's retired now, but Mike Dean was a funny one. I can't lie. Mike Dean as a referee. Mike Dean, but like, apart from that, Chris Kavanagh is absolute. Oh my God, he's an absolute terrible ref.
That bald guy, that funny looking bald, he was the best one, wasn't he? What was his name again? Collini? Is it Collini?
Oh yeah. The Italian one, yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah. But apart from that, there's not. People could say Mark Clattenburg, maybe, but apart from that, nah. No, I mean Howard Webb. As you know, obviously I'll say Howard Webb because he was always in our favour. So Manny would know. Howard Webb was always on United's favour. So even he said in the interviews that he had to give some decisions to United because Alex Ferguson was raging nuts. So look, it is what it is. But for me, there's not one good ref. What they're trying to do now, they're trying to bring like championship referees to the Premier League. Like I've seen it, they've appointed like one female referee and one black referee, which I don't mind. it's good to see that, but you get better officials, like VAR officials. Like, what about the VAR officials? You can get better referees, but what about the VAR officials? So, yeah.
It was Rebecca Welsh, wasn't it? Was the female one, and so I think she was good. So I thought she done quite well when she refereed. I don't know who the black guy was. I don't know him. I think he.
No, it was
what
it
was
was
the one he done?
yeah, it was a championship ref that they promoted.
Yeah. I thought they both done all right. So yeah, I'm not see more of them. I think a lot of them female refs are actually quite good. What's it? And the one we had, the female lineswoman, linesperson, Sean Massey, and she was really good at. I think she's a decent ref as well. So I don't know what happened to her, to be honest, but seems to have gone out of the game. I don't know what she's doing now, but yeah, she was really good. So it's all good if it improves, you know. I think they need to really go to maybe, you know, they need to be taught these new rules. I think they need to really go into you know, in depth into it. You know, it needs to be really taught how to do it. You know, because I don't think they've got a grasp on it, and it's changing all the time, and they've been told to do new rules, and it's just, I don't know how they can cope with it. Really, I've got a comment from Hanno there. No, the Luton pen was a clear pen. Why are we debating this?
And this guy has a soft spot for Luton, mind you.
Yeah, that's right, Hanno. Yeah, he's a secret Luton fan, I think. Well, maybe not secret. But I think you're better supporting them than Chelsea at the moment, Hanno. Anyway,
I would love Chelsea to lose tonight. Imagine that. Imagine Chelsea lose tonight. That would be funny.
yeah. Well, I did win. I did have a good win the other day in the cup, wasn't it? But,
Yeah. They dominated Villa.
yeah, man. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, I think we had a good discussion about all this anyway, lads, and I think I'm going to have to bounce now in a little while because I'm so hungry, man. I've had nothing. I've had breakfast. That's about it. So hungry.
Don't even think of going without food. On Saturday, I remember having lunch at about 1:30 my time, and then it was only at about 8:30 or something that I had something to eat, and had to sort of navigate traffic all the way home without food. It's horrible. The longer you go without food, the more your body will definitely tell you, "Feed me, I'm hungry." And you know,
that's what it's telling me now, I think.
Yeah, so go and eat, mate. Go and eat. But thanks for hosting the stream as always.
Yeah.
Well, cheers for coming on, guys. It's good to have you on, Rest. Your first time on here, man. So you're welcome back any time, of course. So
a bit up to you, man.
Yeah, man. And I come on your one, so you always come on your show, man. So you're welcome on here. I will be doing the FIFA. Well, what's it called? It's not FIFA now, is it? FC24? Is it now?
Yeah, they change every year. But yeah.
I will come on there, mate. Don't worry, I will be coming on there.
I made Stepsy cry last night, so yeah.
I saw all that.
I beat him.
Was it 7-0? Was 1-7-0, and then you beat him 7-3, wasn't it? Was it 7-3?
Yeah, but no, look. Big up to Mr. B. I know you joined our streams, so I thought, why not join your one for today? So yeah, big up to you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, cool. Yeah. So you're welcome back anytime, man. Anytime. So when we do the preview of United, you can come on for that, you know? Do a preview against
me. I'll come on.
Yeah, when we'll talk about thrashing you lot, yeah, we'll talk about that. And well, I hope, you know, I mean, we'll be stinging then, you know, Tony's firing, so get a hat trick.
God's going to be firing that midfield.
Yeah, man, yeah. No, I think we're doing well at the moment, so we're going to have Onyeka back now, of course. So.
Next, I know it's his first win, but still, Brentford have to take it game by game for me, but yeah.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Good win. Very good win at Wolverhampton, so yeah.
Yeah, we're getting players back now slowly. So we're going to have Onyeka back, and we got Godos back and everything. So, you know, they're all coming back now, just at the right time. Unfortunately, Hickey's injured again, so we won't have him back. Got another injury, unfortunately. Come on, Manny. Let's have your song there, mate. Your great song, Hickey song. Come on. Go on, Manny.
Yeah,
What's
sorry, I
your
didn't hear the
Hickey
question.
song?
Huh?
No, what's that Hickey song you like singing? Go on.
Oh,
The Hickey
Hickey, you're
song.
so fine. You're so
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
You blow my mind. Hey, Hickey. Hey, Hickey. No, you boys, you lot need to sing that whenever Aaron Hickey plays. I mean,
No chance.
we've got some silly chants for some of our players. We've used the
16
Vieira chant
on the drain.
for
God, it scores again. Simon,
that's ridiculous. Yeah, we also used the Vieira chant, which was specifically reserved for Patrick Vieira. We use it for Fabi Vieira now. He came from Portugal to play for Arsenal. Ridiculous, but what can you do?
Well, that Teabag. What happened to Teabag anyway?
What we need.
I'll just read this from Hanno. We won't. What's that? We won't lose. They don't have any players like Mateta. He's doing so. He's all about Palace, isn't he? Yeah.
Mate, the thing is, Arsenal fans, they make the most hilarious chants, man. I'm going to be honest. Like, when I watch Arsenal, they're like, oh, we want it out there. Like all these chants, yeah. Guys, keep it up, man. Keep these chants up. Because as soon as Arteta... The thing is, I expect no Arsenal fans... Manny doesn't do this, by the way, but no Arsenal fans should blame VAR decisions if things don't go in their way. Let's say they lose. I don't want to see, oh, the referee, blah, blah, blah. No. You must win all your games if you're serious. So yeah. In terms of United, oh my god, we were singing Scott McTominay chants last night, so yeah. Scott McTominay.
Come on, Horace, you got to change your mind about him now, man. He is scoring for you. Come on. He's doing it right, you know.
One goal does not change my mind on the player must be.
You got your important 3 points, man.
Appreciate the goals, but I still need more from him as a player. So, look, I'm sure Brentford, they make good shots for your players. Like, I don't know.
We're not having McTominay, Horace, before you say it. We're not having him, all right? So,
no, it's fine. Manny can.
Now you want to offload him and everything.
Manny wants McTominay. It's fine. McTominay will cook on the Teta. So, yeah.
No, we need to get rid of Arteta because he's actually, throwing some of our players under the bus, burning a lot of them out. I mean, he will be slowly but surely. The likes of Saka and Martinelli will lose, their ability under him, and they may be forced to move elsewhere.
Yeah, that could stop you winning the Premiership, Manny. His stubbornness and whatever. What he likes to keep doing. That could stop you winning it. In the end of the day.
You bet.
It's a shame you're getting the results now. You're doing it all right now, but when you get to the big games again, it's going to be tough, isn't it? I mean, Porto's going to be tough, isn't it, in the Champions League? So, and then when you get the bigger teams like Liverpool, well, I know you beat Liverpool, but I mean you got obviously City. You got City to come. That ain't going to be easy, is it? So, it's a tough running. So, anyway, lads, we're going to bounce there. So, Manny, over to you to share out your socials, mate.
Yeah, first of all, big up to you, Mr. B, for having me on, and always good fun to have a nice long chat with you about everything football related. So you see my name in the bottom left-hand corner. Just add 1981, my year of birth to that, and you can catch me on Instagram and Threads with that ID. If you want to catch me on Twitter, just take the surname 1981. That's where you'll find me. Pangadoro 1981. Elsewhere on YouTube, obviously, Oris Talks Football, Hanno's Coach's Corner, Del Boy Gunner TV, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV, Northside LDN was on his stream last night. Big up as well to Eugen Spurs U Asia TV, AFC Talk Show TV, up the shows in all departments, can't forget them. And also Old School Gunner, one of my first... he actually was the one who sort of got me more involved in this YouTube thing and introduced me to Del Boy Gunner TV. And he is, of course, based back in Switzerland, and I had a bit of a nice chinwag with him. Also, a huge shout-out to Football United. And I will be going on another stream tonight at 10 p.m. UK to talk about, a lot of the issues of the previous game week. And you can catch me there. I think I might have forgotten the name of that. I will come up with that. But I always enjoy coming on streams to talk football with a lot of like-minded people, and I always try to make sure that I'm respectful towards other people, not, interrupting them too often, making sure that they say what they want to say before I get to have my say. And I always say that if we cannot learn to agree to disagree without being disagreeable, then there is no point in having a discussion. And the other channel is Rich Sports. You'll catch me there tonight, 10 p.m. UK, so I'll be there. And I always say, let's avoid being disrespectful, avoid all snide and banter, treat each other the way we'd like to be treated. So there's nothing much more else to say. Do enjoy the sporting action coming up. I don't know if Champions League or European football will be returning this week or next week. I'm not too sure, but there will be a lot more sport to discuss in the coming days. Until then, enjoy yourselves, stay safe and be happy, and don't do anything that Mr. B, Orest, or I wouldn't do. But for now, it's farewell to thee and goodbye. God bless. Take care to each and every one of you. Cheers, everyone.
Well said there by Martinez, #1 fan club. Yeah.
Which one though? Is it Lissandro or Emiliano or Lautaro?
Emmy, you know the one.
Yes, I know. I'm just pulling
the
you.
Villa keeper. Yeah, you love him so much, Manny. We know that. Anyway, let's go on to our debutant on this channel. His first time. Let's go to him. Orest, shout out your socials, man.
Big up. You can see that my profile picture updated. I'm sure Manny would like it, but on YouTube you can find me on Orest Football, where obviously Manny's there. Mr. B is always constant there, so big up to him. It's good to be making my debut here, and hopefully more time here as well. Obviously, we do face Brentford soon, so hopefully Mr. B invites me on there, and I'll invite him on my channel. So but I'll be doing a Luton preview soon this week with Stepsy, so do tune in with that. And YouTube Orest Football, Twitter Orest Footy, and big up to you, Mr. B, for having me on.
No worries, bro. Anytime, And it's been a great discussion here, and thanks to you, Manny, again coming on. Been brilliant again. For both of you, obviously, it's been a great discussion, and everyone keep following my content. As I say, 2 away from 100. Please keep subbing, because I said I'm going to do a special stream when I get to 100. So it's going to be a big one. I do competitions and everything. Get all my followers on, the members on. You two lads are welcome to come on and everything. So when I get to that magical 100, right, a big milestone for me, So, that'd be brilliant. And so everyone, just keep. Thanks to everyone in the chat, live chat. Hanno, Orest was in there again as well. He was there. Stephen, Jordan, and that was about it really. Yeah. But thanks to everyone there, and keep checking out my content. I've got cricket stream coming up. That'll be on Wednesday. It's a preview for the third test, India and England. So obviously that's coming back. Thankfully, I'm glad. Love that. Love the cricket. So that's coming back, and I've got previews and everything coming up. Preview for the Liverpool game, another big one. I'm on John's channel for that actually on Thursday. So I'll be doing a preview, and I might do my own preview as well. So everyone keep checking it out. And for the time being, everyone, we're out of here. Goodbye.